Buddy, it is April 28th.
What a intro you put on, dude. What a intro. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, let's wait for everybody to trickle in. We're going. We're live. Pause. What's going on, big dog?
I'm squirming already.
I'm screaming and I'm creaming.
What?
Oh man, we're starting off like that.
All right. Watch out for the F-bombs this week.
I'm watching out for them. What a legendary week last week, huh?
It was pretty awesome. Talk about some portfolio growths.
Man.
Yo, have we heard anything back from the Palisades fire?
What happened?
Have we heard anything back about the Palisades fire?
That thing got swept underneath the rug quicker than Aladdin. You know what I'm saying? Ezio, what's going on, man? How are you doing, Ezio?
What up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Come on, big time. Give us PT1. We're so close. What are you doing here, huh? What are you doing?
You have a lot of clients coming from Palisades to buy in South Florida. Dude, speaking of housing stuff, there's something I want to cover on that too. I kind of want your guys' insight on it, since we have some real estate people here in the chat.
What's the juice? What's the juice?
All right, well, let's get into it. Number of finished but unsold homes hits an all-time high.
In Miami?
Mike, what's going? No, nationwide.
Oh, what's going on in Miami too?
So what? So they built all these homes, right? But they can't sell them.
Yeah.
And people want to say there's a supply shock. I don't think so anymore by reading this.
Well, Ezio, you're in Florida, right? Pause. You are too. What's going on with Florida right now, specifically in Miami and like Brickell and South Beach? Is it true that a lot of the high rises are just kind of empty, or is that just FUD?
Listen, and we want like an honest answer. Like, I get it, you want to pump up the place that you're selling, of course, but like, keep it real. Like, what's going on? Doesn't mean people.
That's good.
Don't want to live there. Yeah, well,
That's good.
What's the deal?
What's the juice? What's the real juice? Let us know. What's up, Pike? What's up, D-Lon? What's up, Blake? Here we go. House is rolling in. House is rolling in. Let me get up my doc. All right, should we actually get into it now?
Yeah, we're getting it. I mean, that was one of the topics I wanted to
cover. You're right. But yeah, I heard Florida. Yes, a lot are empty, but the people building these properties need to put their money into real estate, and they don't care to sell them at a lower price. They have money to carry them. Cool. Ooh, one more thing that I heard about Florida. Tell me what the juice is. They're saying that a lot of the high rises basically in like South Beach, and basically a lot of the buildings in South Beach is basically like sinking a little bit per year, right? So the HOA is going up a ton. Like, we're talking like $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Is that true?
The HOA?
Yeah, like the HOA fees, because these buildings are sinking and it costs so much for them to like prevent the sinking or to like raise it, that like the HOA fees are going like crazy, I guess.
I'm sorry, this is in Miami?
Yes.
I mean,
just waiting for some feedback from the folks that live there.
Yeah. I mean, Miami should ask how Venice does it, man.
Dude, that place is going under the water too, bro. Come on.
I know it's going under the water, but like, there's I mean, over 50 years, 100 years are probably underwater. But there's a method to madness.
maybe sooner. Well, dude, did you hear? Thank God that they're doing this though. Uh, I know it's kind of going off topic, but Venice has been getting like over tourism, and there's just like, dude, you were there just like a year and a half ago, 2 years
2
ago.
years ago. 2
Like
years ago.
so many BS knickknack shocks. What am I saying? Knickknack shops. This guy can't talk. Knickknack shops selling just like garbage that like tourists will buy here and there, but it's just like garbage. Like they're gonna clear those off. There's gonna be fees to go in and out, which makes sense because the more and more people that they bring in there, like it's not easy on that bit of land.
No, it's not. Like integrally, like structurally integrally, like it's hard on there. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but obviously Venice floods a lot. Like a lot of those designer shops there, like all those stores have like doors that have barriers to protect from flooding. Um, but even then, that's not like a perfect solution. But I mean, I think they should try to preserve that. I mean, guys, we got to keep in mind, like Venice is one of the oldest cities in the world, if I'm not mistaken. I
It's
think
beautiful.
I think I did like a little bit on it, but I think they need to start looking at on how to preserve it even
We got a
more.
celebrity in the house.
Whoa, Mama Fody's here. How you doing?
Mamma mia.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I agree. They need to find a way to preserve that somehow, even though it is like still a very much a residential area as well.
Right.
People do live on the island, and Venice isn't just that island. Just so you guys know, but it is the most. That's what people when people think of Venice, they think of that island. But
Mhm.
yeah. Anyways, dude, I I don't know where this came from, like how this arose, but Pakistan and India are about to go to war with each other. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, I see. Ezio dropped some knowledge about the Florida situation. Salt in the air, just chewing up buildings. But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, concrete reconstruction is the way to go, especially with these big towers. You got to go concrete. What's up, Mike? Who's going to war?
Pakistan and India. Well, I don't. They're not like tensions are
Great.
rising. Like they're talking about like
Yeah.
air striking each other and everything. I have no idea like where that even came from. That was kind of like a surprise to me. But on an economic standpoint, and this is going to tie into what I'm about to say next. How can this affect like world economies in a whole? Guys, you got India is like a huge is still like a huge importer of goods too.
Yeah, they're massive. Ezio saying the buildings need to split the cost so the buildings get loans. Owners need to pay. Proof examples. I got you. Gotcha. What do you know what the cause of them like initially like beefing about was?
I don't know. I want to look into it right now. I just put why is Pakistan and India beefing with each other in Google. Uh it said rooted in historical events, primarily the 1947 partition of British India. This resulted in the creation of two separate nations, India and Pakistan, and to lead complex and largely hostile relationship marked by territorial disputes, especially over Kashmir. Um,
Over Kashmir?
yeah. I'm not sure if that conflict between India. Yeah, I guess it's like deeply rooted in history and like territorial issues.
So like all wars,
Yeah,
basically.
I you're gonna see like, oh no, what if one invades each other or something?
It's
That'd be
okay.
crazy.
Trump will just try to do a peace treaty since he's gonna run again.
He's gonna be like, guys. He's
Well,
gonna tell.
did you see how Russia fired off more missiles to Ukraine and like literally nothing he said about like doing anything He just hasn't done anything about the Russia Ukraine stuff. But for
So
you guys
wait,
that, huh?
you said Russia fired missiles to Ukraine?
Yeah, just like a few days ago, like 70 of them into Kiev.
Damn.
Yeah, just fucking fired off. Said sup. It was crazy. Anyway, for you guys that didn't catch my little pun, I was saying it's okay. Trump can negotiate with him since he's gonna run again. That was just a joke because he started selling Trump 2028 hats.
Dude, but he also said something a couple months ago saying, or like a month ago saying, like, there's a way, there's like some
He's
kind
gonna
of
change the
loophole.
rules.
Well,
Yep.
not change the rules. There's like a loophole or some sort. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Mm.
Lizard King says India-Pakistan conflict is not really news. It's just now with all the Islamophobia going on, it's getting more coverage.
Mm.
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 Well, you got a Hindu nation, and then you got an Islamic nation.
Mm.
But like just deeply rooted stuff, man. That's it. But speaking of India, Apple is considering of moving all of their production to India instead of China now.
What about the 500 billion that they were going to invest in Dallas?
Not sure, but this is the latest news with Apple. They're considering of moving manufacturing from China to India.
Well, I know they came out. You remember we covered it like a while ago when the tariff started that they were going to invest 500 billion into the U.S. and have some kind of facility in Dallas. Now, I don't know if that was like manufacturing or production or what, but they said that they were going to invest in a big place in Dallas.
Yeah, I think nothing's like set in stone because obviously Trump is like uh so indecisive and of with these tariffs. Like, is he sticking to them? Is he not? He keeps negotiating this and that. Nothing's like set in stone, right?
Right.
Until like something is, on paper, this is it. There's no more negotiations. I think companies aren't gonna make a move till then. I think they're just exploring ideas of what would be the best route to kind of get ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Even this India thing is not like for sure, but these are options that they're exploring. Um, you
Gotcha.
know, to me, I thought the ultimate goal was to have all manufacturing done in the U.S. from the get go, right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
But we'll see. Speaking of tariffs, though, Trump supposedly met with China, uh, and I think China paused the 125% tariffs or like suspended them as of now. But yeah, supposedly Trump met with China a couple days back, but some fun data: U.S. tariffs revenue surges by 60%. So there's big time money being made on these tariffs already.
To 15 billion.
Yeah,
But
big
they
business.
haven't provided, like, I mean, I don't think they're lying, but like it would be nice to see some proof. And I'm just playing like the devil's advocate here.
Yeah. Devin says Apple is focusing on AI development in Dallas. It makes
Mm.
sense. Um, yeah, that makes sense
They did
because
slow roll the AI play too.
mhm. I mean, if you're a huge tech company in the US, you want to do something that deals with information. You want to have that in the US and not like in a foreign adversary uh foreign adversary environment, right? Because we're dealing with like a ton of information, like computing information and everything.
Yeah. Speaking of Apple, they report earnings this week, guys. Apple plans to shift the assembly of all U.S. sold iPhones to India as soon as next year. A comment from Ruckus in the chat. Apple plans to shift the assembly of all U.S. sold iPhones to India. That's awesome. See, this is why you guys are awesome. So Ruckus is confirming that they want to shift assembly of iPhones to India, and then Devin is confirming with us that Apple is focusing on AI in Dallas. But that's a good way into the stocks, right? Let's go into stocks. We gotta. So last week there was some big earnings. 2 out of the 7 Mag 7s reported. It was Google and Tesla reported the day beforehand. And for you guys that are in the chat, we were saying that Tesla is really going to set the tone. Well, I thought that Tesla was going to set the tone, and it did. I thought that Tesla was going to set the tone for what's going to happen in the market to come, meaning that in the last month and a half, we saw the stock market and the Magnificent Seven specifically pull back anywhere from 30 to 50%. And we did a really deep dive and went back 20, 30, some stocks, 40 years, like Apple, to see that when these stocks dropped this much, how many times has that happened in history and what's happened after? And it was funny to see that all 7, right? Apple, Nvidia, your Microsoft, Tesla, etc. All the 7, they've all dropped 30 to 50%, either 3 to 5 times throughout their history. And Apple being like the 5 times because they've been around for so long. And then the other was, I think, Microsoft. But throughout history, they've only dropped this much 3 to 5 times throughout all of history. And in the last month and a half, we saw all those Magnificent Seven stocks drop 30 to 50%. And we always got to look back at history, right? What happened during COVID? What happened in that crazy sell-off in 2022? What happened in the sell-off in the 08 crisis, right? We all had crazy rebounds after that. And the reason why I said I think Tesla is going to set the tone is that, usually you see stocks running up to earnings. And then after earnings come out, even if they beat earnings, it gets sold off because everything was priced in. So the reason why I said I think Tesla is going to set the tone is that everything already sold off 30 to 50%. So it's the opposite pattern. If everything is selling off into earnings, then maybe a good chance that we actually spike it into earnings because everything is priced in for the earnings call, right? And again, why it was going to set the tone was if it did good, it was going to move basically like the whole tech sector. Otherwise, if it didn't do good, it was going to be that next leg down. So when you combine what happened to Tesla and Google after with what's going on in the charts, it was, hey, this isn't the next leg down, at least not yet, and that we have a rally in place. Now, today, nothing really that big on earnings, but tomorrow, you got Spotify, again, not that big, but then the fun starts Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday, we got Microsoft reporting. We got Meta reporting, and then you also got QCOM reporting for you folks that love to trade NVIDIA, Intel, AMD. Watch how QCOM does because they're also chips. But more importantly, Microsoft and Meta.
Yeah.
They're going to be reporting Wednesday and Thursday. Again, it's going to set the tone. If these two also do good after earnings, bull market is resumed. Like we are back. It's time to rally up. At least for the next few months. What's up?
And just to top it off too, like, a lot of people thought, and this is going towards the Magnificent Seven and Tesla specifically, a lot of people were like, we're unsure, and I just don't get why still to this day. But a lot of people were unsure because of Elon's attention divided between Doge, Tesla, this, that. But Elon is going to, starting May, is going to be significantly focusing more on Tesla now and very minimal time with Doge. So you're going to see, I think you're going to see, a revival in that sense, like no other.
Yeah. and Doge was always designed to self-destruct. Since day one, they were saying that, like, it's eventually gonna do what it's supposed to do. It's gonna efficiency itself out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. So on Wednesday, guys, we got Microsoft and Meta. And then Thursday, we're hammered with Apple and Amazon. So it's going to be a big week. Wednesday and Thursday is going to set the tone. Just like all other big earnings weeks, what do we do at this time? We know volatility is coming, right? We know it's coming. For the traders who are more advanced, who like to take advantage of the volatility, you guys are out there slicing it up. For the traders, chopping it up. For the traders that are not as experienced in volatility and volatile markets, this is one of those weeks where you just wait for the move to happen. Meaning you wait to see what happens Wednesday with Microsoft and Meta, and then you join the party after.
Mm-hmm.
You wait on Thursday what happens with Apple and Amazon, and then you join the party after. Meaning that once these earnings are done, there's going to be a trend that follows. So just follow the trend, right? It's the one time that it's okay to be a groupie in life is when you're trading. Follow whatever the winning trend is. If Apple gets smoked after earnings, so be it. We go bearish and ride the trend. If Amazon goes bullish, fantastic. We go bullish on Amazon. But expect the day after earnings for it to kind of like unfold and let itself balance out and see which side wins and then attack that side. Now, my bias is that it's bullish, but just remember, a bias is simply just like an educated opinion, like not really going off of like true data. Like this is just my bias based off of like what I've seen happen in the market. So I think we're going into the bullish mode based off of what's happened in crypto, based off of what happened with Tesla and Google, and based off what I'm seeing in some of the strong charts. So this week will set the tone for until Q3. So if we go bullish mode, expect bull market, expect a lot of trading the next 2 to 3 months. So stay hydrated and stay active. And lock in. Ooh, I almost said lock the F in, but I didn't.
I hope you. Oh my gosh.
And that was speaking of the Mag 7. My bad. This is like the best time. Again, still, even with the recent pumps, one of the best times to buy the Magnificent 7 compared to the S&P 500. This is like the lowest chance that you'll get in 6 years. Meaning the price of SPY is significantly more inflated than the price of the Mag 7. And that's crazy to see because the Magnificent 7 takes up like 30 to 33% of the S&P 500. So it means the other 493 stocks are like have been pumping a lot, and these 7 key stocks have sold off a lot, and it's time to go, man. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Gold ETF sees largest one-day outflow in 14 years. We all knew it was going to happen. Gold can just go up forever.
Dude, that thing ran harder than just about anything else except some Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
I know, so random, but some of the Pokemon cards have came back hard, dude. We're talking like 100, 150% gains, dog.
Yeah, that was really insane to see, actually. Like, that just goes to show too, like reflecting back on it, right? There's still a huge majority of people out in the world that don't think crypto exists or think crypto is, just not a thing or it's fake and they result to gold. And a big majority of people think that. And people, because gold was pumping during uncertain times, obviously with tariffs, the talk of like unstable currencies, this and that. People are like, gold's the solution right away, and more than crypto, I would say. But I think that narrative will shift really, really soon.
I think it's going to shift too because everyone and their, you know what? This is exactly why all those stablecoin laws were happening. If you guys remember a few months ago, I was saying there's going to be a lot of stablecoin stuff passed because everybody and their mother is trying to create stablecoins right now. We just saw
Yeah.
Trump try to create a stablecoin, this and this try to
Yo,
create
before
a
we before we get into that, because I want to talk about stable coins a lot and like what I think about it. Obviously, you touch up more on it, what you're about to go on. But before we do that, man, the app we use every day, right? We'll go into crypto after this, but the app we use every day, right? Discord.
Mm,
The CEO resigns
mm,
amid eight IPO discussions.
mm. Why?
I don't know.
Look at
I
these
have no
jokes.
idea. But the CEO of King, who makes Candy Crush, also one of the board of directors for Activision Blizzard, has now taken his place
I wonder
as
why, man.
CEO.
Dude,
I'm
you
trying to
know how many times Discord turned down Microsoft for a sale?
maybe it was one of those things where like the obviously the CEO was like the creator of Discord, the CEO
Yeah.
of now, right? Maybe his vision, obviously it got so big that it's like a lot of it's out of his hands and like the company needs
Yeah.
to scale in a certain way and whatever. But maybe it got to the point where he was like no longer interested. I think he was just like a true nerdy gamer at heart. He stood up against the man, like this was his thing, and now he's at the point where it's like it's his exit.
I have an opinion on this.
Go ahead.
You're right, because he was like, this was just supposed to be for like gamers, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
But what's everyone really using Discord now? For communities, for
Hmm.
subscription-based communities. It grew
Yeah.
up into that monster, and I think what's happening and what could happen, especially with this new CEO taking place, is they're seeing what these platforms like School and WAP and all that other stuff are doing and the amount of fees that they're generating. And I think they're going to try to harness Discord better in that aspect. But
Hmm.
that does mean that they're going to have to change a lot of the platform because before School, before WAP, everything was Discord education. And then, but of course, we created our own app because we're sick like that. Um, but you're starting to see WAP get really big, School get really big for that kind of stuff. And I would be interested to see and inclined to see that maybe that's a shift that they get into. Like, and I know Discord introduced subscription payments through Discord and all that, but it's not like talked about. It's not really like a thing that they pushed. The
It's
fees are quite
yeah.
high.
It's hard. It's hard to imagine too. I mean, you would think like, all right, well, obviously, like, uh, a platform like Discord would adapt like that, but WAP and Discord integrate with each other so well, though. Like they work so well together.
Yeah, but
One
what do you
platform
need WAP
executes one
for?
thing better than the other, huh?
Yeah, but yeah, WAP just now executes the education aspect better, but 4 or 5 months ago, no. You just used WAP to buy and then it sent you to Discord. They had automation built.
Yeah, but when it comes to like harvesting a community, right? Discord obviously does that better. Like you could do a lot more things on Discord. Like, I mean, dude, look at all
Yeah,
the look at the channels like we have, right? Like the stuff that we want to announce at certain channels and divide it into
right.
whatever. I'm just saying the integration from like from WAP and Discord, and like when it comes to like role permissions and how it does that super autonomously, those integrate with each other really, really well. And WAP does not have that whatsoever, but they have the platform to token gate your Discord.
Yeah. But that's like what ManyChat was, and then WAP just kind of saw education being the thing, and then they kind of did that pivot. And I think maybe
Mhm.
that is kind of what Discord will try to do. Um, What else?
Possibly.
What else WAP is doing that is smart now too is they're literally allowing. Here's Discord subscriptions. Like the most you could charge, I think, is like 99 or 199. I'm like, that is retarded because our service costs more than that. So I couldn't even charge what I wanted. But WAP, you can charge crazy amounts. And then what they just introduced like this week is like coach financing. You remember when we were offering financing for our elite and people would just basically finance through coach financing? They would apply for financing, they would get approved. We would get the check from coach financing and then they would pay off coach financing. Now WAP is basically offering the same thing, but for like 65 grand, up to 65 grand. So let's say like you have a high ticket item, it's 65 grand. Someone can apply for financing. If they get approved, you get the full 65 grand right off rip, and then they have to make the payments.
Wow.
We just got a comment in the chat. Discord employees on Blind frequently say there's unstable leadership.
What's Blind?
I don't know. What is Blind?
Is that like some like internal employee chatting app?
Blind.
Kind of like a Signal type deal.
Big time is pushing, ladies and gentlemen. Sand is pushing, ladies.
Woo! I like to hear that. I like to hear Sand pushing.
Baby, are we about to hit PTs on live? Are we about to take profits on freaking live? Let's go. Let's go. Everything is booming. We're crushing. All alerts.
All right. Let's get into some crypto news and then we'll recap. We'll recap last week's freaking mania of trades. Man, that was a good week last week. I love that. I was dancing.
See you later, Sand. See you later, Sand.
Oh yeah, go Sand.
See you later, Sand.
Go Sand.
Go. Oh yes. So these stable coins, huh?
Yeah, let's talk about the stable coins, dude. This is just turning into just like, I mean, granted,
the
this
metaverse war.
Yeah, I mean, not even that, dude. It's just like how there's different currencies for countries now, right? There's all these different currencies.
Yeah.
Now it's just like digitalized, and it's and it's the only difference here is like crypto all in all in itself is super decentralized and anybody could send anybody whatever they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, right now, like you can't spend, like a small part of a country can't take US dollars as currency, has to take their currency. But crypto and its infrastructure as a whole, like anybody could use it, right? So I don't know why there's such a race for all these different countries to have their own stable coins when the functionality doesn't give them the ability to limit.
What do you mean by that? The ability to limit?
Like they can't force only using their stable coin in their economy.
Right.
Well, like if somebody thinks USDC is more stable than Vietnamese stable coins, and a merchant in Vietnam could decide, I only want to take USDC stable coins. I don't want to take Vietnam stable coins because USDC is a lot stronger.
Then they'll take that.
I know, but I know that's the point. I'm just trying to say, like, it's stupid that all these countries are racing to make their own stable coin.
Well, I think
my opinion,
what's going to happen, right? Because we're seeing it. We knew June of last year, for anyone that was an SU, we were talking about Mika. Can anyone tell me in the chat what Mika is?
That's a European regulation, right?
It's basically like the crypto European market, European crypto market regulation. MICA. Last year in June, they were talking about these things that they're going to pass to basically make stablecoins secure and regulated. They have to be regulated, that they're backed, right? You can't just say, "Oh, here's a million USDAF coin," right? And then people buy a million USDAF, but you have nothing to back it up. It's not going to work. So a few months ago, we saw two different crypto coin legislations passed. Let me just look up the exact names because I kind of forgot. But two of them just got voted on in the last couple weeks. I know one is further than the other, and then the Trump administration passed another one, and the other one that they passed, they passed specifically to get their stable coin passed through. But two stable coin legislations, U.S. This just happened, dude. Oh, there we go. I knew it. It was the Genius Act, which is the more stricter one, and then the Stable Act. And then the Stable Act was introduced by the Trump administration so they could get their USD1 stablecoin passed and shit like that. But what I think is going to happen is we're going to see a lot of regulation with these stablecoins, and there's not going to be as many as we think. I think there's going to be a lot of people in the race for it, and then a lot of people trying to get them, but they're going to limit how much is actually going to be available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just what I think. Jay, you mind running them through A16 while I use the restroom real quick?
Yeah. So yeah, guys, AI is definitely coming back for sure. And and AI crypto tokens in particular. And believe it or not, guys, I don't know how long I've been telling you to get into ARC, AI rig complex. I know it's been beat to hell. The chart's been beat to hell. The price has been beat to hell for a while now. But now AI16Z and ARC lead the bounce in AI coins. And I think it doesn't end here. I think we will see over a period of time, a few months to a year out from now, ARC being one of the leaders in that. As far as AI16Z, I'm kind of uncertain about it. I know I've been super bullish about it in the past. But one of two things come to mind and how that will pan out. I really don't like how Shaw navigates on social media and with the brand in general. If you guys don't know, Shaw and Eliza Labs launched a pump fund competitor, and Shaw to me comes off as kind of like a big grifter in a sense, because all he was doing last week was launching tokens on his pump fund competitor platform, and these tokens were rugging like almost immediately. They were getting sniped to shit. The pools were getting sniped. Just absolutely no quality control whatsoever. People were losing tons of money, and Shaw just doesn't have a care in the world for it. So that, as a leader of like a premium AI product, is very concerning to me. And it pisses a lot of people off. And I think in reality, Shaw can kind of hinder the brand. So unless unless we could see some kind of shift in leadership within that product, I think AI16Z could flourish if that happens. But to me, I still have my concerns of when he's at the helm, because a lot of his cards are starting to unfold. But you still have a very very bullish subset community that's like super bullish behind AI16. Like, at the end of the day, the framework that they have, a lot of AI projects use, so that has a ton of value within itself. But I'm just voicing my concerns. But yeah, that's right. But ARC, I think ARC is still a premium AI product. It's one of the more premium ones, and I really think we shouldn't be sleeping on it at all. But yeah, that's my take on that.
Oops, my bad. I was muted. Speaking of ARC, there's another ARC out there. You guys know Kathy Woods? Miss ET hands. There's like a famous picture of her doing this. I don't know why it's cool. She was like the unicorn of Wall Street. Like right after COVID. Everyone was like, who is this mystical technology woman? Great investor. Can't say anything. But to be fair, she just bought all the Magnificent Seven in COVID dip and just made retarded returns. I sound kind of familiar. What's going on right now? COVID, 30 to 50% dip, Magnificent Seven. Investor buys the dip of the Magnificent Seven, becomes the fucking unicorn of Wall Street. We have that same kind of dip right now.
I do. I think her Bitcoin predictions are absolutely wild.
Well, that's what I was getting at and why I brought her up. She did sell Nvidia too early, but did you see that Tesla trade she did? Come on. A lot of people sold Nvidia too early. What is her prediction? I know for Bitcoin, it's like way up there.
Yeah, I mean, for like best case scenario, like absolutely bullish case, she thinks Bitcoin's going to be 2.4 million per Bitcoin by 2030.
2030.
That's literally 5 years from now.
That's a 20xer.
That's pretty insane. Yeah,
I wish I could say that it sounds so unrealistic, but it doesn't. Well, let me see something here.
But she also thinks this too, though. I mean, she thinks the most bearish scenario for Bitcoin is 500K per BTC by 2030. But here's the thing, dude, right? Okay. That's 5 years from now. We're in a bull cycle right now. Right? You would say we're in a bull cycle?
Yeah.
Yeah. What year into the bull cycle you think we are in right now? Third year? I would say third year.
Dude, I think we're about to just what we just had was a bear cycle. It was just fast. Very
Was it
fast.
bear, or was it just like, or was it like kind of like somewhat of a black swan-ish event?
It's not a black swan. The pandemic,
Kind
the
of.
financial crisis, 9/11, those are black swans.
Yeah.
What's
Well, what
happening
I
right
meant
now?
by black swanny-ish is because like there was a change of leadership in the country, right? And there was an absolute
Happens.
shakeup.
A black swan is quote unquote unpredictable. There's an election every 4 years. But I did be a black swan.
Arthur, I get there's an election every 4 years. And when I say black swanny-ish, I'm not saying exactly like black swan.
Well, then
What
don't
I'm
say the word
saying,
black swan.
black swan, bro. Oh my, just shut up. 1 second.
No,
let me explain.
I won't
Let me
shut up
explain.
because
Let
it's
me
wrong.
explain.
Okay,
Let me
go ahead.
explain. Black, like kind of like it, dude. Like kind of like it.
No, it's not kind of like it.
Let me finish. God damn.
Okay, finish. I thought
Kind
you
of
did.
like it because like nobody. I mean, granted, Trump on his campaign, says we're gonna do this, gonna do that, yada yada yada. But the moment it happened, nobody predicted like what kind of shakeup it was gonna do in the market. So like, and with tariffs especially, everyone thought it was going to be a bullish thing when Trump got elected, but it turned
We
to be
didn't. We said buy the rumor, sell the news. By inauguration, it would probably sell off because it was priced in. That shit was hella priced in. And if you remember, the first time he got elected, he talked about tariffs and the markets dipped and then they ripped. The first time. This is literally a play-by-play of what happened the first time around. It is 100%. It is.
I'm talking during his campaign to
Yes,
when he
during his first election period, he talked about tariffs too. He introduced tariffs too. The same thing happened. The same thing happened. That's why I'm saying it's not a black swan. And you were with me on the lives, and you were there when I said for 2 weeks, hey guys, inauguration is January 20th. We're not trading. We're not trading. We're not trading, because it's likely that we're priced in, because from November to end of December, we
Yep.
ripped
Yep.
for the whole time. And
Yep.
then January was sideways. We had earnings, volatility, and then we had inauguration, volatility. I said, hold off, hold off, hold off. We're probably priced in.
Yeah.
And then we sold off.
Can you agree on this though? No, nobody knew like the severity of like how he was going to come about the tariffs.
Well, I mean, I guess, but but that doesn't say it's Black Swan, bro. It's not Black Swan. Sorry. It's just not.
Black
It's
Swanny-ish.
not even ish. No, just
All right.
stop.
All right. All right. God.
Lizard King, you made a comment. She also said Tesla 2600 by 2025. But when did she make that comment, my dude? 2021, 2022? How many splits has Tesla had? Tesla's like a $5,000 stock right now. You got to count for the splits, because that counts. You remember? You remember that thing ran up when like I was getting like just good in trading. Tesla ran up to like 4,000 and then split, and then ran up again and then split.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Oh, dude, 2.4 million. That's a lot of
Brings the
that
market
is
cap
a
to 50 trillion.
that's a lot of wealth.
But that's also okay, let's say I'm curious to know, because right, if we multiply the 21 million Bitcoin by 2.4, then we get to a 50 trillion. But we know that there's already probably at least 5% of Bitcoin that'll never be accessed again. So I think that also plays a huge price. A huge factor in the price.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So okay, so their last forecast, ARK Investment, didn't include didn't account for like stolen Bitcoin, stuff like that. But this forecast supposedly does. With like network liveliness, mind share, active wallets, active supply, quote unquote active supply. And then and like I said, they took an account of permanently held coins, meaning lost Bitcoin, essentially. Right. So I mean, listen, I would love for Bitcoin to be 2.4 million. I just going back to what I was thinking. It's like, I don't know, depending. I mean, you say we we just got out of like a mini bear cycle, right? And then I don't know, historically speaking, how long do we normally go through bull runs? 4 years?
Well, what's been happening though, and I'm not sure if you remember just that post that I was saying, but a correction is like 5 to 10% dip. A bear market is basically defined dips over 20. We had that everywhere. S&P 500, Apple,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah, everywhere.
Yeah.
But what's happening right now, and what happened right after COVID, is the selling lasts way longer than people think. And then it gets to the point, and these freaking market makers are good at this. They are the psychological experts.
Yeah.
They will make it to where if you lose all faith in the market, and then you get to the point where you're like, this thing is gonna tank, not realizing it's already tanked, but because of what you've seen, you think it's gonna get way worse. People a few weeks ago thought thought were telling me, yo, sell your Bitcoin, it's going to 19 grand. I was like, dude, just stop talking to me, please. Just block me and never speak to me again. Throw yourself in a dumpster. Uh,
Mhm.
and people will think that the market is going to get obliterated, and then what happens is right when you've lost all faith in this
Mhm.
thing going up,
Mhm.
it rips, and you do not believe it until it's gone back up so high again. You're like, well, shit, I'm right back to where I sold at or higher, and then that's when retail gets back in, and
Mhm.
then that gives them the liquidity for the next huge pump. But as retail finally thinks the market is recovering, the big dogs are already TPing. Take profit. Take profit on the way up.
They know
Take profit.
exactly,
Take
by the way,
profit.
guys,
Take profit.
they know exactly where your price targets are. They know exactly where your liquidation point is. They know exactly where your stop loss is, and they will fucking play that on you.
That's true to an extent. Yes, they know where the liquidation areas are. That's public info. Anyone can find that. But
Mhm.
the exchanges are not purposely like hunting stop losses for retail. We are way too small money for that. Promise. But they do know where the most liquidation areas are. But that's like also where smart money puts their stop loss and where retail money puts their stop loss. Like, what's the easiest way to put a stop loss? What's the previous low? So they look for that previous low where everyone is thinking, oh, look,
Yeah.
Bitcoin bounced for the last 3 weeks at 70K and it held.
Yeah.
Let's fuck everyone. Oh, let's. Hey, I didn't even say the C. All I said was fuck.
No, I heard it. I heard the whole
No,
thing.
no, chat.
I heard the
Did
whole
I
thing.
say CK?
I
All
heard
I
the
said was
whole
fuck.
I heard the
Like
whole
Fo
thing,
Kim
dude.
Long. You guys trying
I'm
to get some
actually
fuck?
I here you go. I'm in disbelief.
What they'll do is like, okay, everyone has a SL at 70 because that's where it's bouncing, right? That's where you would think. So let's just drop this thing to 68K and then rip it all the way up.
Mm. Yep.
Dude, I said fuh.
You see it from time and time again, man.
Yeah.
Guys, Monero sees a jump of 51. That's really big for Monero, actually. 51%. Um, that's that's a really huge move for Monero. Monero doesn't normally move like that at all. Um, reason being is someone was trying to either someone got hacked for 333 million worth of Bitcoin, or somebody's trying to what?
They got socially engineered per Zach XBT.
And the money's being laundered through Monero. Um,
Mm.
yeah. So big shock to the value of it. And wow, these guys are actually smart. What? There is not a better chain to do that than Monero.
I know.
Uh,
That's why
but
they chose it.
yeah, you kind of think to yourself, okay, these other people that like steal like crypto in the past, like why aren't they putting it through Monero? Guys, I'm so. You know what's funny? Now that you think about it, Monero's value uh largely derives from people probably laundering money through it.
Did you see the chat? McAfee
McAfee
loves
loves
Monero.
Monero.
Yeah, McAfee. And
Yeah.
then Lizard King, stay safe, but buy gold and XMR.
Dude, Monero was at the first crypto I was buying.
That was the first one you were buying. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
That was
that's when you got me into crypto.
the first
But
man.
but that's why I was saying in the chat, guys, don't trade XMR today. It's too crazy. And dude, what happened with the Monero is like one of the reasons why I didn't trust Solana for such a long time, because it was so artificially pumped by Alameda Research Group, which
By
was the
crime.
company. Yeah,
Yeah.
by crime, which was, for the people that don't know, SBF, FTX. They had another group. It was called Alameda Research. That was like their trading firm, which is what happened
Mhm.
with all the money. They basically artificially pumped the Solana price, meaning that they were buying and selling to themselves to raise the price to have people FOMO in and then just kaputzed, which was why a few years ago when Fody was buying Sol at like what was it, $12? I was like, bro, don't trust that thing.
No, dude, it was literally $4, brother.
No,
Four
it
to eight,
wasn't. It was
four,
like
four to
12.
$8, $4 to $8. I remember it just absolutely cratering to
But
$48.
to
Four to
48
eight.
or
Four
428?
to eight. Four to
Oh,
eight. The
but
low
then you
was
sold at
$4.
12?
No, I didn't even I didn't even I sold it at for the same price I bought it for. You're like, this shit's gonna disappear off the face of the earth.
Well, dude, with all this scum going around it, I didn't say it's gonna disappear, but I was like, dude, do you really want to like have most of your bag in a coin with all this just crime around it right now?
Yes, Arthur, I do. I much rather have it all in that than a fucking piece of shit game like
Really? Really, buddy? Really? Now who screwed it up, huh?
Oh, dude, you
'Cause
got
I
the
said
train.
fuck.
You got the train
You guys want
rolling.
to go to Fuck Him Long, which is just a pho spot down the road? It's the best pho in all of Las Vegas. But you just had to go all
It's
crazy.
fast food pho. Dude, they as soon as you order it, they bring it out. Here you go.
It's not that fast, bro. It's
Yeah,
bomb.
it's
Stop
not the
playing.
best fun, but it's definitely fast food pho.
The best pho in Vegas.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Uh,
you got to take me to a better spot. See, someone just said this is true.
this is true. What?
That Fuck Him Long is the best pho in Vegas.
No shot, dude. No shot. Anyways, as I was gonna bring something up too, guys.
You
You know,
potty mouth.
an easy way, an easy way to kind of like just like beat these market makers. Because going back of Arthur with like market makers being a master of psychology and knowing how people act in the markets, dude. To me, the easiest way to beat this is just having the most conviction in the world in something and believing in something and you know you having the vision of whatever you're buying now of being significantly more valuable years from now. So you don't have to worry about beating the market maker. You don't have to worry about getting a good entry. Your good entry is now than from 5 years from now, right? Like Arthur buying Ethereum years and years and years ago, Bitcoin years and years and years ago, and holding it for the long run till now, you know, right?
Yep. Ondo, like, dude, like
Mhm.
when was the last time you heard me talk about a coin with such conviction? I don't even know.
Been a
Maybe
while.
Gala 2021.
Yeah. But yeah, like don't stress yourself out over stuff like that. Solana for me, even though I got, manipulated to think it was going away, gonna go to zero,
You
sold it
got
all.
socially engineered, my brother. Socially engineered to sell
It's
your
just like
bags.
crazy, dude. That was honestly the biggest heist of the century, to be honest, dude. Uh
Got rugged by your own bestie.
that's
Full rope.
crazy, dude. That's so crazy. Um, and like guys, this was like at the this was like at the beginning of the bear market where that thing just tanked
Tank.
to the lowest it could go.
What was cool is we did short. We had some when we had bear market when all those scandals were going on. That was sick, dude. We shorted Sol all the way down, FTX all the way down, Luna all the way down. We're talking like, dude, John Knopf hit it the best. A $20,000 short leveraged to the gills on Solana from $120 all the way down 8 million, but then lost it in FTX crash. Wild.
He still hasn't gotten paid for that, I think.
No, he's supposed to
I
get
should I,
20%
I should
back.
check up on John. Honestly, dude. I don't know.
Well, he
Kinda,
was invited. Guess where he is right now.
where's he at?
He's in
Dubai.
Dubai. He told us to come. Dude, I was looking at flights today to potentially leave tomorrow, but nothing is the best flight I found was to leave on the 30th but then I get there May 1st at 4:30 the last time of the conference. But dude, everyone is there. All the who's, all the connections that we needed for the next 1 year.
It's fine, bro. Relax. Okay.
I just wanted to go on Emirates, have some caviar, have some
You want to
champagne
you
with my
want to go
best
to
friend.
fucking Dubai? You want to go to Dubai
Keep
with a week's
cussing.
notice? Like, dude,
Ooh, spontaneity. Sue me.
guys, Bonk launches a Pump Fund competitor. We just talked about AI 16Z launching a Pump Fund competitor. Bonk launched one. It's getting a lot of traction. What do I think about it? I mean, dude, I hate these token launching sites. Like, obviously, like they they take the mystique out of meme coins, right? And they make it too readily accessible for people to deploy scams all the time. But this is the environment we're in now. I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. And then also Radium also has a platform too. You're seeing a lot of these existing protocols come out with their own pump on competitor. So yeah, I mean, nothing too. I thought you guys should know about that. Nothing too crazy. So, but yeah, Bonk is ripping because of that. If you saw Bonk, this is why Bonk is pumping.
How much are they up right now?
Nothing crazy, but I think let me see.
Oh, I mean, still a rip over the last few days.
Yeah,
68%.
yeah. I mean,
Whatever.
that's kind of a rip.
Oh my god, dude! Did you guys see, dude? Anyone that knows Blastrat, just or Thanostrat, just look at the Bonkbot 4 hour. Stop.
I mean, guys, like I can only preach about these coins so much. Bonk's one of my long-term holds. Bonk is the Doge. How many times have I said Bonk is the Doge of Solana?
A lot.
Bonk is literally a huge tech company disguised as a meme coin too. I mean,
Yeah.
they're starting to become an integral part of Solana. I think they're setting up a few validators too, if I'm not mistaken. So keep on the lookout for that, guys. Pokemon is coming out with an NFT. They made an announcement for Pokemon NFT, official Pokemon NFTs for Pokemon Home.
So I've been ripping.
Yep. Lets players collect medals as digital collectibles tied to real world Pokemon locations and events. It's speculative of what chain it's going to be on. People think it's going to be Sui, but if you guys don't know, Sony has their own blockchain called Sonium, and I think Sui and Sonium are battling for that IP. Imagine being the chain of having Pokemon.
That's
the Pokemon
crazy.
IP on your chain. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, but why does Sony get? Why is Sony having a fight with them? Do they have any part of Pokemon IP?
No, they don't. But neither does Sui. But like Sonium, their blockchain needs to be relevant in some way. It's pretty irrelevant right now.
I don't know why I thought you said Sony for a second. I was like Sony.
No, Sony. Sony has their own blockchain.
They do?
Called Sonium.
I didn't know that.
They do. It's a disaster. It sucks. They're very they practice, they do weird practices, very unethical things on chain.
Really?
I'm not saying like scam. They just censor a lot of, I don't know. Well, that's for a different discussion, but they do have money, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, there's that. I mean, and that's pretty much it for crypto right now.
That's it for all the news right now, I think.
Let's do a quick recap of last week. We'll let it rip. We'll do it quick.
Well, how did you tell people how much Alchemist ripped, by the way?
I mean, dude, it's been
It
ripping.
it yeah, it hit those new highs that we were talking about and then dipped, but it hit those highs.
It sure
Yeah,
did.
guys, we had a dominating week or dominating 2 weeks. Yeah. Dominating 2 weeks. A lot of trades. Crushed. Crush. Chat, how many times do I got to keep saying gaming, gaming, gaming? I'm a broken record. Lego. Yeah, we had a crazy 2 weeks. The momentum was there. We got people making 50, 60, 90% portfolio growths. Now, here's where we got to dial it back. Crazy 2 weeks. Earnings are coming in, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Markets dipped, which is good. I think we're getting ready for wave 2. But don't get overexcited. The problem is when profits are so quote unquote easy for 2 weeks, people think that that is how the market always is and always operates, but it's not. We get those for a few days, few weeks, few months at a time, and then it stops, regroups, and the thing starts over. So right now, we're pausing, we're taking a breather, except the gaming sector is ripping still. But taking a breather on just about everything else, unless the chart is screaming at us to get in, which the gaming coins currently are.
Mm-hmm.
And then just being patient. Don't give back all those gains. There were good gains. If you guys followed along, you crushed it. I'm talking huge gains here. Don't give it back. Wait for the good opportunities. Wait until we hammer the market again, and then just take advantage of it then. But hold on to the gains. Go see some sun. Enjoy it. Hold on
Mm-hmm.
to those gains. When the capital is ready to be deployed again, you'll see me fire off a lot of trades again, like I have been doing. So make sure you're not taking every single trade, because believe it or not, if you start jumping into everything and start taking small loss, all your gains and all your hard work in the last 2 weeks is going to be gone.
Hey Art, I want to give some community members a shout out and just kind of showcase how insane last week was. I'm just going to go down the list here. J Bone, you had a 751% gain on Ondo. Congratulations. You are a psychopath and did 49x leverage. MJed, you had a 228% gain on CFX, 25x leverage, psychopath. And then also, you had a 449% gain on Ondo, long, 40x leverage. Absolutely, I don't know, might need to put you in a mental ward for that. But that was pretty insane. Big time, 15x leverage, 144% gain. Amazing. Incremental L4CL. Modest guy, but he does it in volume and he's stacking profit. I love this because out of everyone that I'm listing right now, this guy has executed the most trades with modest gains.
Dude,
I mean,
just look at April 26th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trades. Green.
I'm about to read these off. All right, incremental. Get ready. We're gonna go through your trades right now. Pangu, you shorted Pangu for 15x leverage, 73% gain. Big time USD perpetual, longed it, 15x leverage, 45% gain. Ondo long, 12x leverage, 29.8% gain. ADA, you shorted it, 15x leverage, 10% gain. Mana, you longed it, 15x leverage, 71% gain. ADA, you shorted it, 15x leverage, 8.98% gain. This is all literally in a 2-day span. You are a absolute unit. Amazing. Starkey, you longed Ondo with 55x leverage. I don't know if you woke up and decided that you were just a sick individual in the head and wanted to get spicy and just didn't care about potentially losing your house on this trade. But
Dude,
you got a 20% gain on Ondo, 55x
as long as they
leverage.
calculated the size, it's okay if they did 50x.
I know. I'm just being
capital.
funny. I'm just being
I
funny.
know.
Obviously, these are like very calculated trades, guys. Like, I mean, everyone's, Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. But like, obviously, these are like very calculated trades, and we practice risk management very seriously in our group. That's why these guys can afford to do such high leverage trades.
I got a shout out for Blake, who is in the chat right now. 2 trades he did. One on 10x, 260%,
Okay.
which is a fat gain. But then the other, 10% on house, 650%. That's a 60% move on the asset. 60% move on the asset. Bonkers. And then Brandon with the 815%er on Alpaca. Bonkers. And then what about MCM? Also had a screenshot like incremental with 10 wins, up 75.5% on his portfolio. And then who you just mentioned, incremental, up 62. Hard Hat Degen John is up 62% on his portfolio. The boys and girls are killing it right now.
I want to shout out another person, and the reason why, because like this guy went in with some good size and made a pretty decent amount of money in a very short amount of time. Rafstar, 20x on Ondo, long, 100% gain, made about $4,000.
And then Blake Linder, 22 G Birds on Mana
Oh
alone.
my lord.
22K. Just
Oh
bought
my
a
lord.
defender. He paid like a quarter of it off already in one trade.
Blake, you are a unit, my friend.
Sicko.
Guys,
Mana
and
pumping. Sorry.
did you make him?
Still in
Oh
this
shit!
bad
Did
boy
you call?
deep.
Did you just call mana?
No, but I'm still in it from that trade.
Okay. But yeah, and guys, just so you know, like you don't see these kind of gains anywhere else. You will never see this in the stock market. I mean, unless you're doing like options and everything. But like in a traditional financial sense, like even then, right? If you were last week, if you took Cass, Farcoin, Pepe, right, with no leverage, Cash, you made 27.38% on your money. Farcoin, you made 18.55% on your money. Pepe, you made 16.76% on your money last week. No leverage. Where do you see that anywhere else?
You don't. You honestly don't. This was what's crazy is the rest of the trades that are about to like blow up portfolios in a good way. Dude, Sand, if Sand hits all PTs, it's bigger than Cass, it's bigger than Mana, it's bigger than Big Time, it's bigger than about everything besides Alpaca. Sand. I see you opening up your phone to add more size right now, you sicko. I
just looked at it. I just looked at it. I'm sweating bullets right now. My nipples are hard.
I'm drenched.
My nipples could cut through my fucking shirt right now. I'm so excited.
Dude,
anyways,
you love cursing. You can't help yourself.
Oh my! You know what?
You love it.
I feel like I'm not being myself if I don't. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be good, man. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying. I'm sweating profusely.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you guys on the trail floors. Get active, get hydrated, get in the trenches. Sand, Mana, Big Time, TRX. What are you doing? All right, that's it. Peace, everybody.
Peace.